So one of the questions is, who are we? How do we define ourselves? Normally when we meet a person, then we define ourselves in one way. We meet another person, we define ourselves in another way. 5 years ago we defined ourselves like this. Now we define ourselves like that. But what is it, you know? And sometimes, or most of the time, we incorporate the views of others, of how they see us, how they perceive us. And this combination is that what we normally refer to as I, me, and mine. I'm like this, I'm like that. We use it all the time. When we communicate to each other, we use it. But what groups are we referring to when we refer to I? What is this I? What is this mine or me? We always take it for granted, that's why we never think about it. So let's have a look. Yeah? I mean, the biggest thing, or the biggest group in this I is certainly this body. Yeah? So then we can say, I'm a male, I'm a female. Yeah? I'm tall, yeah? Or I'm short. I have blonde hairs. Yeah? We refer to the qualities of the body, yeah, to define ourselves. But this body, we know, has changed. Yeah? It has changed over time. Yeah? The blonde hair, yeah, went dark and went grey. Yeah? The dark hair went grey. Yeah? From a little baby, yeah, we changed into a youngster, and then we changed into an adult, and then we changed into an old person, and then we die. So I mean, the biggest reference to ourselves is this body. Yeah? That's what we try to present to others as me, as mine, and as I. And that is the first group, or that's the first khandha. Yeah? The second khandha, or the second group, is, of course, the big group of feelings. And it can be bodily feelings, yeah? Just like you heard me physical, yeah? Or it can be mental feelings, you heard me mentally. Yeah? The feelings of sadness, I say I am sad. The feelings of sickness, I say I am sick. I constantly use this I to refer to the things that I observe. And that is the important aspect. I observe there is sadness, I observe there is there's anger, I observe there is greed, I observe there is wanting, I observe there is liking, I observe there are dislikes. And I observe there's happiness. Yeah? So why do I refer to these fleeting things? of feelings, because they are fleeting nature, we all know it, as I, as mine, and myself. I mean, don't we sometimes see this contradiction? One moment we are happy, the next moment we are unhappy. So are you either happy or are you unhappy? Or is it something, we just get accustomed to? Things are changing. So my I is changing. My I is constantly changing. My perception of myself is constantly changing. So what is the thing that lies beneath it? Why do we have the feeling that the I is permanent? What is this? What is this I? And so the feeling was the second group. The third group that is important, of course, is memory. Memory and association. What do we remember? 5 years ago, 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago? That seems to form, our personality. These memories, as fragile as they are, or as incomplete as they are. That's what we refer to as I. But it's also something changing. And we know, some of the memories go, some of the memories stay. So that is the third group that we call I, mine, myself. That's me. And the fourth group, that is important in the definition of I, mine, and myself, is the group of thoughts and ideas. But also when we look at it, when we were born, we can't remember our thoughts then. We certainly did have some. When we were 5 years old, our thoughts were, I want to play, I want to speak, I want to do this, I want to do that. I want to go to school, or I don't want to go to school. When we were 15, our thoughts changed. When we were 20, our thoughts changed. They change very quickly. In the moment we sit down for meditation, we notice they're changing, they're fleeting nature. We hold on to something that, actually has nothing to do with us. But we never ask ourselves, we constantly refer to ourselves when we present ourselves, what are you doing? How do you feel? As a combination of these four groups. Yes, there's a fifth group, but we normally don't consider that, consciousness. As a definition of I, mine, and myself. But it also belongs to. So when somebody hurts me, what does he hurt? The feelings of fleeting nature? The body? The ideas? I don't agree with you? You're bad? You're good? In any kind of communication with others, we get a feedback. How others perceive us. And others perceive us also differently. They see that we are changing. Sometimes they see that we are changing to the good. Sometimes they see that we are changing to the bad. And they perceive it, and they give us their view of how they perceive us, and we incorporate that in our views. But if we have a certain view of ourselves and somebody else thinks differently about us, then we have a problem. Huh? Then we don't know. Huh? Am I like this? Am I not like this? Am I like I'm thinking I am? Huh? I mean, you remember Descartes, yeah? The definition of I. Cogito ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. When I don't think, I'm not anymore. So this I can disappear. And if you go into samadhi, if you go into upachara samadhi or access samadhi, I mean, then we do lose the notion of I. Because there's nobody there who takes hold of the experience that happened. That should give us some thought. How can this happen? Yeah? I, that seems so, I am like this, I am like that, I think like this, yeah? If you don't agree with me, I'm getting angry, yeah? Or if you say something that I don't like to hear, I'm getting angry. What is that? When we go into upachara samadhi, there's not this notion. Yeah? Nothing can hurt us there. Yeah? Because there's nothing, there's no assumptions, there's no views of ourselves. Yeah? And the views of ourselves is just a combination of the body, of feeling, of memory, association, and thought. That's what we call I. But when we do some meditation, we can observe. First of all, we can observe body. Yeah? We just need to look outside, or we look in the mirror, and then we see there's a body. Yeah? But moreover, we can see feelings arising and ceasing. You can see feelings of anger. We're not always angry, we're sometimes angry. Yeah? We see them coming and going. We see happy feelings coming and going. We see unhappy feelings coming and going. Because all of these khandhas have a fleeting nature, are anicca, impermanent. Yeah? So why do we attach to them? If I tell you, there's a cloud, going by, it changes, yeah, from no cloud to a white cloud, to a dark cloud, yeah, to a rain cloud, and then disappears again. Would you consider this to be yourself? You can see it, you can observe it. You can observe the feelings coming and the feelings going. You can observe the changing nature of the body, yeah, from very young, to very old, yeah. You can observe, even that, not the changing of our hairs, the changing of our skin, yeah, the changing from sickness to health, from health to sickness. We can observe these changes. We can observe the changes of the memory, yeah. So why do we call them me, mine, myself, I? And because we call them, that's where we have all these problems. Yeah? We want to be a certain kind of person. Yeah? And that creates a problem. Yeah? Because our ideas might be good. Yeah? I want to be a good person. I want to be a great person. Yeah? But that's not what we are. Yeah? What we actually are is this observing nature. And this observing nature of every person, of every being, is of the same nature. So actually we are not different from each other. Yeah? We're just observing different instances. Yeah? And are getting attached to these instances. Yeah? And this attachment creates a notion of self. So realize that next time when you go into upachara samadhi, realize there's nobody there. But there's experience, there's still, there's still feeling of the body, yeah? There's still, sometimes there are still thoughts, they come just by, as clouds, yeah? That's why I use clouds, yeah? It looks like, a cloud came by, and passed away, it has nothing to do with us, yeah? But we are so attached, yeah? We're so attached to this body, yeah? Very much attached to this body. In the moment the body gets sick, yeah? Oh, it's terrible, it's terrible. I mean, it spoils our mood, it spoils our activity, it spoils our plans, yeah? And then we attach to feeling, yeah? And we attach to memories, my memory, yeah? No, I remember it like this. No, it wasn't like that. Yes, I remember it like this. We fight over these. We fight over feelings. Because we think these feelings are me and mine. Yeah? These thoughts are me and mine. This body is me and mine. Yeah? And that is something that we have to realize, yeah, in our practice, that these things are not me and mine, and we cannot change them. Yeah? I mean, if you really call something me, mine, then look at your shirt. Yeah? If you have a white shirt and a black shirt, you can change the black shirt to a white shirt and the white shirt to a black shirt. Yeah? That's what you can do. But you cannot change a sad feeling, yeah, to a happy feeling, or a happy feeling to a sad feeling. That's not yet in our power. Yeah? So how can you call it? How can you call it me, mine, myself? This is me. Yeah? That's how I think. Yeah? And how did you think 5 years ago? Or 2 years ago? Didn't you think differently? Huh? That's my ideas, yeah? I'm really convinced of this. Yeah? And 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years ago or 10 years ago, you had different ideas. And this is something, yeah, this is something where we all get attached, where we all get hurt, where we get angry, yeah? If somebody accuses of something, yeah? For instance, yeah? You're like that. Yeah? No, I'm not like that. Yeah? We defend something that is of a changing nature. Isn't that ridiculous? We defend something that constantly changes. Yeah? And we're still keeping defending it. Yeah? Even though, we might have, because we practice a bit, we might have some inkling, that there actually is not an I, me, and mine. That there are just these 5 things, yeah, working together. These 5 groups working together, just like a clock, yeah. One wheel, touches the other wheel. One gear, grabs hold of the other gear, when this first gear moves, the second gear moves. Maybe it moves slower or maybe it moves faster, it depends on the size, yeah. And these 5 khandhas, you can call them these 5 gears, yeah. And when you look, at 5 gears, moving, would you call this me, mine, I? Yeah? You just see them moving. Yeah? You see a feeling arising, that causes the memory, to arise, that causes causes another feeling to arise, and so on and so on. Yeah? All consciousness comes into contact, and that creates a memory, this memory creates a feeling, yeah? And that the feeling might be bodily feeling or mental feeling, yeah? That creates a thought, yeah? And so on, and so on. They're just 5 groups or 5 gears, that are stuck together, yeah? And one moves, the other moves as well. Yeah? And all of them move. Yeah? So how can we call this I, mine? Huh? It's just like with these old watches, when you open them, yeah? These pocket watches, you open them and all what you saw is some gears, moving. And moving and moving. It doesn't make any sense. You can look at as much as you can. Huh? as much as you can look at it, can you observe it very closely, but it doesn't make any sense. The moment you close that watch, you suddenly have time. And this time tells you it's too late, it's too early, or it is just right on time. So, the moment you close that, then we suddenly have a meaning. And that is the same thing with the 5 khandhas. They are just 5 gears. And we combine them, and give it a meaning and say it's I, mine, and me. But then open it again, and then all what you see is these 5 gears or these 5 khandhas moving. One is accelerating and the other is decelerating, and so on. Each gear, grabs hold of another gear, and they're constantly moving, constantly changing. Just like our feelings constantly changing, our thoughts are constantly changing. Just watch yourself, for 15 minutes, the thoughts are constantly changing. Also memories are changing. Maybe once in a while, an old thought comes back, or an old memory comes back. So the question for you is to think about it, and think about it, ask yourself, why do I call this I, me, mine? Because, the moment we call it I, me, mine, our personality, then we have there something to defend. I think like this, I'm like this, I'm a good person, somebody tells me, I'm a bad person, we defend ourselves. Or we defend our actions. And we only need to defend something that we believe we are. If we know there is nothing, that we believe in, there's nothing to defend. And that's freedom for us. What shall I defend? A card house, that is shuffled every day or every hour or every minute, That's what I'm defending, because it constantly looks different. But it's the most difficult thing, and this notion of I, it is the most difficult thing. Just like the Lord Buddha said, it is easier as a single person to fight a whole army than to fight oneself, We so much believe in ourself. We so much believe in this combination of the body, of feeling, of memory and thoughts. That it is very difficult for us to see through it. The first way to see a little bit or get an inkling of it is getting into Upachara Samadhi and see that the I disappears in that state. There is no I, there's just experience. And actually, there's comfort. There's no fear. There's no loneliness. There's contentment or peacefulness or happiness, whatever. But there's nobody who takes hold of this. And if you recall your meditation, every meditation of yours, there's somebody talking to you, telling you, I'm not sitting right, I'm not doing this right, I'm not doing that right, this is nice, this is not so nice, why don't I get into Samadhi? Who is this voice? Never thought of it? The moment we are in Upachara Samadhi or Access Samadhi, this voice is gone. There's nobody telling us that we don't sit straight, or that there is pain. That because there is only knowingness. There's only this observer who observes these things. But there's nobody who takes hold of these things. Just like we take hold of every experience that we have, and say, I'm fine, I'm wet, I'm hot, I'm cold, That's where we take hold of this experience and call them me, mine, and I. And that's why we have this problem, because we want to defend it. I'm an engineer, I'm an artist, I'm in this, I am in that, yeah? I'm a woman, I'm a man, yeah? What does it mean? Yeah? What's the difference between a woman and a man? Yeah? Physically, yes, there is some difference. Yeah? Mentally, might be. Yeah? But the difference between men can range, from 0 to 100. Yeah? And the difference between women can also range from 0 to 100. Yeah? They're all different. Yeah? Men are all different. We are all different. Yeah? Because there are different things, that are going on. Yeah? Different kinds of feeling, different kinds of thought, different kinds of ideas, different kinds of memories. Yeah? We all observe a different kind of space. Yeah? Just like people, look to the north, see something else. Yeah? When they look to the south, they see something else. When they look to the east, they see something else. Yeah? When they look to the west, they see also something else. Well, the person who doesn't have a personality sees everything. Yeah? And he sees them, it's not me, it's not mine, it doesn't belong to me. Yeah? So he doesn't have all these problems with the defining himself and constantly defending oneself. Yeah? And that is something we should, we should realize it. Yeah? We should remind ourselves. Whenever there is a memory coming, not saying I memorized this, or I was in this situation, yeah, that's also a memory. Yeah? No, we should say there is, yeah. We should use the principle of anatta. It's not me, it's not mine. It doesn't belong to me. Because whatever I can see, whatever I can observe, whatever I can experience, yeah, cannot be me. I mean, there must be a difference between subject and object. I mean, we learned that in school. Yeah? There's a subject, who observes an object. Yeah? So the subject, yeah, observes there as a feeling, or observes there as a thought, or observes there as a memory. Yeah? That's a subject. Yeah? We can call it the one who knows, we can call it the observer, yeah? Call it whatever you like to. But this observer, or the one who knows, is never the thing, or never that, what he observes. Yeah? Just like we know, when we observe another person, we know it's not us. Yeah? When we observe the arm of our neighbor, we know it's not my arm. But the moment I observe the arm, that is just right in front of me, I say it's my arm. Hmm? But if somebody lays his hands around our head, we don't say it's my hand. Huh? Why? Because it doesn't seem to be attached to our body. Yeah? Doesn't happen in the sphere of our body. Yeah? That's why we don't call it I or mine. Yeah? See the fallacy of it. Yeah? I mean, thinking that the subject and the object, are one and the same thing. Yeah? And that's what brings us the most of the troubles. Yeah? Especially feelings, especially ideas, especially notions, yeah? Convictions. Yeah? I'm convinced, yeah, that this is right. I'm right and he's wrong. Neither are we right nor is he wrong. Yeah? And that is something, that we have the biggest fight with. Yeah? Learn to observe that. Yeah? I mean, whenever you in meditation, reflect about it. Yeah? All these things that are happening are not me, mine, and myself. Yeah? That is the principle of anatta. Not me, it's not mine, it's not myself. What is not me, not mine, myself, whatever I can observe cannot be me. Yeah? And I can observe feelings, I can observe memories, I can even observe this body. Yeah? So how can this be me? Yeah? Who is the one observed? Yeah? Can the body observe itself? Yeah? I mean, what do the eyes see? Yeah? The eyes that see the body? Yeah? They see form and color. Yeah? And who puts it together and says it's a body, it's a female, it's a it's a male, it's old, it's young, it's that. Yeah? It's memory and association. Yeah? If it wouldn't have any memory and association, we wouldn't know. Yeah? We couldn't classify it, put it into this drawer or that drawer. Yeah? And then we wouldn't have any trouble. Yeah? We would have trouble living because we would have to learn everything anew, every moment, because we don't have a memory. Yeah? But we wouldn't be in trouble. Yeah? So memory is a big part of me. Yeah? But thoughts, conviction, ideas are also a big part of me. Yeah? And we falsely claim that's me, that's mine, it's myself, and I have to defend this notion, this card house that constantly collapses, yeah, and we constantly defend it, yeah, and build it up again. The moment somebody hits us, we build it up again, yeah, and we probably fortify it, because we don't like, yeah, the feeling of pain, yeah, when this notion of I or me, is hurt, it builds up a fortress, yeah, not to be hurt again, yeah. So, this castle of me and mine and I, gets bigger and bigger and bigger, yeah. We try, so that nobody can hurt us. Yeah? But actually, if we take down the castle, nothing can hurt us. If you take down the castle of I, who can hurt us? Nobody. Nothing. Because there's nothing to defend. Yeah? There's nothing there, actually, in the first place. Yeah? Just like time doesn't exist. It's a notion. Yeah? And we take that for granted, we take that for something for fixed. And that's why we have these problems. Yeah? I don't like to do this. Yeah? Who is this I who doesn't like to do it? Yeah? And who gives us the sense? Yeah? Who gives us this notion of I? It's nothing else in the kilesa. Yeah? The fangs of avijja, the fangs of not knowing. Yeah? The fangs of wanting to know, not being able to know. Wanting to be, not being able to be. Yeah? Wanting to become. Yeah? Avijja. Yeah? Fundamental ignorance. Yeah? Doesn't know what is going on. It's caught up in a game. Yeah? It caught itself up in a game, and defined itself, yeah? Within this game. Yeah? And we are so stupid to believe it. And we work on it, yeah, and we define ourselves and we go for it, and so on, and so on. Yeah? And now that we start to practice, we should realize that's not me, it's not mine. Yeah? But it's difficult, because it's so it's so ingrained. It's such an ingrained habit. Somebody says something negative about us, we instantly defend. Yeah? Other people, instantly take it on, and they get completely confused who they are. Yeah? Oh, I'm like this, yeah? Yeah? And then the other person just says the opposite, yeah? How can we not get confused? Yeah? Oh, you're a very nice person, one person says to us, huh? You're full of shit, says another person. Huh? And so, what can we make out of this, yeah? No, one person says you're very generous, another person says, you're actually very stingy, you don't give me the things that I want, yeah? Yeah? How can we deal with these things, yeah? The way we deal with it, we take the positive, yeah, from all the people around us, and say we don't have this negative. Yeah? And then we get in a false illusion, yeah, about ourselves. Yeah? Realize, yeah? When we are born, there is some good in us and there is some bad in us. Yeah? There are some good characteristic traits and there are some bad characteristic traits. And these characteristic traits come from the kilesa. And characteristic traits are nothing else than karma. Karma, karma is called, with cause and effect. Cause and effect actually doesn't say a lot. We say something, and whatever we say comes back to us, with the intention we had. If you had a good intention, it comes back as a good intention. If you have a bad intention, it comes back as a bad intention. So we should always realize that. There is something, the moment we defend ourselves, there's something wrong. A red alarm lamp should, light up. The moment we defend. We defend our notion of how we think we are. But we don't really know how we are, because all what we do is we assume that we think we know that we are who we are. And that's why we are really in a catch-22, we can't get out. Or we don't seem to be able to get out. That's why the Lord Buddha gave us a path, that leads us to the destruction of the self, to destruction of our illusion about, the illusion about the body, being us, the delusion about, feeling being us, the delusion about memories being us, and the delusion about thoughts and ideas being us, and consciousness. Because all these things are anicca, are impermanent, are changing, constantly changing. So karma is that what we normally use to define ourselves. It's a result of karma, and we call that character. But character can change. A good person can turn into a bad person can turn into a good person. It depends on the experience that this person has. A generous person can turn into a stingy person can turn into a generous person. So even these characteristic traits, are anicca, constantly in transformation, constantly changing. But that is what we hold on to. We hold on to the good karma, and we are also attached to the bad karma. And this good karma or this bad karma that we constantly create by our thoughts, by our words and speech, and by our actions, that accumulates, and we will come back to it. And because we attach it, because we don't see through it, it will lead us. It will lead us, in hell, or it will lead us into an animal realm, or it will lead us into the demon realm, or in the ghost realm, or it will lead us back into the human realm, or in the heavenly realm. But karma is something neutral, completely neutral. It doesn't have when you say it doesn't have any metta. Karma is just a natural principle. The cause, cause and effect, the law of cause and effect. Just like the law of gravity. Whatever you throw up, must come down. Whatever you say, must come back. Whatever you do must come back. Whatever you think must come back. That is the law, and this law has no pity on us. Even if you don't like what is coming back, we can't defy this law. And that's what we normally think it is us, because we define ourselves in these forms, of what our karma is, in forms of character traits. And that is, karma is the thing that is reborn. And as long as we attach to this kind of karma, we are reborn. And add new karma to it. It's just like a backpack. We pack all these things, all our action, all the causes, all the results of our actions, we pack into this backpack. And we are attached to it. And it gets heavier and heavier. Each lifetime, each time being, it gets more and more heavy. when you look at it, yeah, what is it that is reborn? Actually, is there something that is rebirth? Or is it actually, just like a flowing river? Take the Mekong, yeah? The river, it goes in, it originates in Tibet, yeah? They call it, this river, they have a name for this river, then it goes to China, they have a name for this river, then it goes through Laos, they have a name for this river. Then it's at the border of Thailand, they call it Mekong, yeah? Then it goes, through Laos, and then to Vietnam until it goes into the ocean. And each time, the people, in the country, don't call it differently. It's the same thing. It's the same river. And that's the same thing as karma. Yeah? One time, we call the karma that is in this realm of existence, we call it hell. In another realm of existence, we call it ghost. In another realm of existence, yeah? Just like flowing. Yeah? But it can flow in different directions. Yeah? And that is our chance. We can make it flow in directions that are actually happy destinations. Yeah? You don't have to let it flow into directions that are unhappy destinations. So karma is it's just a law. Yeah? And we attach to this law, and that makes the difficulty. That creates all the difficulties for us. Yeah? We attach to the results. We like good results, And we hate, bad results. But we don't understand how we create these results. Yeah? Because most of these results we don't see, within the next 5 or 10 or 20 or 30 or 40, 50 years. Yeah? Most of the results of our actions, of our thoughts, of our of our speech and of our actions, we will happen, we receive much, much later on. Yeah? 60 years, 70 years, next lifetime, in 5 lifetimes or in 7 lifetimes. Yeah? It depends on our intention that we created the karma. Was our intention good, we get good results. Was our intention bad, yeah? Even if it were nice words, but our intention was bad, yeah? We get bad results back. Yeah? So the body is not reborn, feelings are not reborn, they're actually, yeah? When you call it like that, they are reborn every moment, yeah? Feelings, yeah? Reborn, yeah? From one feeling to the next, yeah? You can say feelings are reborn every moment, yeah? Memories are reborn, every moment, Thoughts are reborn every moment, So what is reborn, yeah? You just change, you just change from one country to another country, or, call the country, different realm of existence, from one realm of existence to another. Yeah? And as long as you attach to these things, as long as you attach them and think they are me, mine and myself, then you have troubles. Yeah? And that's why the Lord Buddha gave us, as the third step, in the path that leads to the end of dukkha, He gave us, the investigation of these 5 khandhas that we think that are us. Yeah? And the biggest problem is this body. Yeah? And that's why we have to investigate it first. Inside, outside, inside. Yeah? From top to bottom, from bottom to top. Yeah? To understand the true nature of the body, that this body is nothing else than a car. Yeah? And that the chitta, that happens to drive this car, yeah, has nothing to do with this body. The moment the body dies, this chitta goes out, yeah, and looks for another body. Yeah? Just like when our car dies, we look for another car. Yeah? And if you don't have saved up money, we don't get a car. Yeah? Or we get a very bad car, or we don't get any car at all. Yeah? So we have to suffer, yeah? Because we like cars. Yeah? We like some transportation, we like some movement. Yeah? And if we don't have a car, we go to hell, the hell of a passionate car driver that doesn't get a car. Yeah? And that's what we have to realize, that the chitta, that drives this body, just like a driver drives a car, is not the body. Yeah? And that is the biggest, it takes a long time to investigate this body. Not only that, we investigate the body then, not only to see it's not me, it's not mine, it's not myself, but we are also investigating, what kind of garbage are we carrying with us around? Huh? What kind of loathsomeness? Yeah? When we look inside the body, it's full of shit, full of crap. Yeah? What are we carrying around with us? Huh? But we covered it nicely up, yeah? We packed it nicely into a skin, assigned some hairs and some nice teeth, and eyes to it, and then we think, okay, it's not a garbage bag, it's a human being. Huh? And then we open it up and then see all the shit inside. And we don't like to see it. And that's why we close it up again and think, it's all nice. Yeah? But what comes through the skin? Sometimes, there are some some views, where things are coming through our skin. Grease comes through our skin. Dirt comes through our skin. Yeah? All these things. Yeah? And when we take away the skin, what do we see? Blood. Poos, yeah? Meat, or flesh. Yeah? And these are the things that we don't like to see. Yeah? So it's just, this body is just as an illusion as our nice pillow, yeah? Where we always put our head on it. Yeah? When somebody comes to you, and tells us, open up this pillow. Huh? Why should I open this pillow? It's nice, warm, comfortable. Yeah? I love it. Yeah? Mine, yeah? It gives me a perfect rest, yeah? The other person insists, open it up. Why should I open it up? Open it up, open it up. Finally we open it up and see it is full of warm shit, yeah? What would you do? Huh? Would you put your head anywhere? Yeah? There's no way that you would ever, sew it up, and put your head on it again. Huh? You have realized that this is, that is nothing that you, yeah? But you never thought about it, yeah? Because nobody ever told you to open up the body, yeah? That's why you still think it's beautiful, it's nice and it's warm, yeah? You constantly touch your belly, but you don't like, you don't like what is coming out of the belly, yeah? Because it's called shit, and we don't like shit, even if it's warm, yeah? Huh? Realize it. Investigate it, yeah? Reflect about it. Reflect about the moment you see yourself defending, yeah? What am I defending? Huh? I'm defending an illusion of what I think I am or what other people think I am, yeah? What other people, think of us, it's their problem, it's their view, yeah? Remember the simile that I said, that I normally bring, yeah? There's a tree, in the forest, and there's a few different kinds of people, yeah. One is a carpenter who sees the beams of his house in this tree, yeah. Another is a sculptor who sees a Madonna. He sees the Madonna in this tree, yeah. What has it to do with the tree? What other people see within us, yeah. Another person, he's cold, he sees his firewood. Yeah? And another person is just, he's just blind and he stumbles against this tree and gets angry and cuts it down. Yeah? What has it to do with this tree? Yeah? And think about yourself being this tree, whatever. There are so many people seeing different things within you. Yeah? What has it to do with you? Yeah? Why do you get angry? Why do you need to defend, a notion that constantly changes over time? Yeah? And it has changed. Yeah? Your view of yourself has changed. Yeah? Over the time being. Yeah? So what are you defending? So the moment you defend yourself, yeah? A red alarm lamp should light. Hey, what am I defending? Yeah? Cut it down. Yeah? Reduce it, yeah? So that it becomes manageable. Yeah? The more you reduce it, the more freer you become. Understood? It's enough. So, แม่เตรียมทิปเข้าใจไหมเข้าใจบ้างไหม
นิดหน่อย
มีจีเด้งเข้าใจภายในไหม
ก็ทำอยู่ในใจ
โอเคทำอยู่ในใจ
มันอยู่ในนี้แหละ
ธรรมะมาจากใจใช่ไปดูไปไหนก็หาอะไรนี่จะหายาก
เป็นบอกวิธีหลักหลวงพ่อ
มีอะไร
โยมมีคำถาม
มีถามอะไร
ถามได้ไหม
ถามมีอะไร
คือโยมนั่งสมาธินะคะแล้วโยมพิจารณาเวทนาแล้วโยมจำคำหลวงพ่อได้ว่าให้ดูมันให้พิจารณามันโยมเห็นตัวมันขึ้นมาแล้วก็โยมก็ดูมันว่ามันมาจากไหนมันออกมาจากร่างกายคือโยมโยมเห็นมันออกมาแล้วโยมก็ถามตัวเองว่าแล้วใครเป็นคนเสวยเวทนาอันนั้น
ไม่ต้องถามไม่ถามทุกขเวทนาเป็นอะไรมันความเจ็บความปวดเป็นอะไรต้องถามอันนี้แล้วมองดูอยู่ที่ไหนอยู่ในผิวหนังก็อยู่ในเนื้ออยู่ในเส้นอยู่ในเอ็นนะอยู่ที่ไหนอยู่ในกระดูกนะและเมื่อคิดว่านะมันอยู่ในเส้นนะเส้นเอ็นนะของเราก็มีเส้นเอ็นตลอดเวลาแล้วทำไมมันไม่ถูกตลอดเวลา
แต่มันเห็นมันขึ้นมาอยู่
มันขึ้นมาใช่
เห็นเป็นคือเห็น
ใช่
เห็นขาที่เป็นเนื้อแล้วก็เห็นมันออกมาแล้วมัน
แต่มันไม่ใช่เนื้อ
มันไม่ใช่เนื้อมันลอยขึ้นมา
เนี่ยมันความนะ
โยมเห็นมันลอยออกมา
แล้วเวลาลอยออกมานี่มันจะเป็นอะไร
มันก็หายไปมันเกิดขึ้นแล้วมันก็หายไป
แสดงไปยังไม่ทุกขเวทนายิ่ง
คือมันยังไม่หนักมากแต่ว่าโยมไปดูแต่ว่ามันก็ปวดวันนั้นมันปวดมาก
มันปวดมากแล้วเวลาพิจารณาดูแล้วมันจะหายไปใช่ไหม
ใช่ค่ะจริงมันก็คือแต่ว่าโยมแปลกใจอันหนึ่งคือไม่รู้ว่ามันเป็นอะไรก็คือว่าโยมเห็นอีกอันหนึ่งก็คือมันเหมือนจิตที่มันเป็นลูกกลมๆเหมือนกับ
ไม่ใช่เนี่ยมันเป็นความสงสัยเนี่ยไม่ใช่นะไม่ใช่ลูกกลมๆนะต้องจับดูนะต้องจับดูเมื่อหายไปก็หายไปก็กลับพุทโธนะถึงไม่หายนะเวลามองดูถามอยู่ไหนเป็นยังไงนะมันเปลี่ยนไปเป็นอนิจจ์ไหมนะมันจะเห็นว่ามันจะเปลี่ยนไปมุนไป
มันเกิดขึ้นมันก็
มันเกิดขึ้นช่วงแรกก็เกิดขึ้นก็ดับนะแต่มันบางทีก็มันไม่ดับนะแต่มันมุนไปบางทีก็แรงขึ้นนะบางทีก็เบาลงแรงขึ้นเบาลงนะบางทีก็เป็นย้ายเป็นส่วนใหญ่บางทีก็เป็นเล็กๆหน่อยๆนะมองดูนะถึงนะมันจะเปลี่ยนจากเข้านี่แล้วถึงเข้านี่แล้วเข้านี้ก็ไม่มีความเจ็บมันปวดแต่เดี๋ยวนี้โอ้โหเจ็บปวดมากเนาะมันเวลาทุกขเวทนาก็ไม่หายไปนะเวลาสนใจจริงๆทุกขเวทนาเป็นอะไรนะไม่ใช่ความสงสัยนะเนี่ยมันความสงสัยเนี่ยนะแล้วถ้าทำเป็นนิมิตนั้นมันจะ
ไม่ค่ะมันเห็นแค่นี้
นะ
มันขึ้นมาแค่เนี้ยแล้วมัน
ก็ไม่มันก็ต้องอยู่ในร่างกายนี่นะมองดูในร่างกายนี่นะอันนี้ก็เป็นความคิดนะความคิดความสงสัย
แต่ทำไมมันออกมาเป็นตัว
มันก็อาจจะใช่นั่นเป็นความสงสัยตัวเองนะวาดภาพเองจิตก็วาดภาพนะเล่นกับทุกขเวทนานะเมื่อเล่นกับทุกขเวทนามันไม่เจ็บนะ
มันไม่เจ็บจริง
ๆไม่เจ็บจริงๆเพราะว่าของเราเล่นอยู่นะ
คือมันเจ็บมันก็รู้แต่ว่าเราไม่ไปเอาเหมือนคล้ายๆจิตไม่ไปนั่นมันก็เหมือนกับเป็นคนละส่วน
ใช่เป็นคนละส่วนเป็นคนละส่วนจริงๆนะมันมีคนมันมีตัวที่มองอยู่นะตัวความรู้นะมองความเจ็บความทุกข์นะจะต้องมองนะมองต่อไปต้องนั่งอีกนานนะถึงเห็นถึงไม่หายแต่อย่าเล่นกับมันนะถามตัวความเจ็บความปวดเป็นอะไรนะอยู่ที่ไหนนะแล้วตั้งแต่เกิดมานะมันร่างกายก็บางที่ก็เจ็บบางที่ก็ไม่เจ็บส่วนมากก็ไม่เจ็บนะแล้วทำไมเดี๋ยวนี้นั่งภาวนาก็เจ็บเวลานั่งดูอ่านหนังสือก็ไม่เจ็บถามตัวนี้นะมันความเจ็บความทุกข์ผมอยากเข้าใจนะเข้าใจจริงๆนะเวลากำลังถึงอยู่กำลังเข้าใจอยู่นะมันจะเปลี่ยนสถานที่แล้วโอเคมองดูนี่สถานที่ใหม่นะแล้วจะเปลี่ยนสถานที่ใหม่นะและสุดท้ายก็จะหายเห็นทุกขเวทนามาจากไหนจริงนะมันต้องตามเขาต้องตามทุกขเวทนาถึงเห็นอยู่มาจากไหนจริงๆนะวันนั้นก็เข้าใจจะต้องนั่งนานนะมัน3 ชั่วโมงนะ3 ชั่วโมงมาครั้งแรกนะครั้งที่2ก็มาอีกนะรุนแรงนะบางที่ก็ครึ่งชั่วโมงนะเป็นไม่ไหวช่วงเด็กนะอย่างใช่ของเขาก็ชอบเล่นกับมันนะช่วงที่เล่นนะเล่นกับความเจ็บความปวดหรืออะไรนะมันไม่เจ็บนะเพราะว่ากิเลสก็ชอบเล่นกับนี่เล่นความคิดนี่เล่นความสงสัยนี่ว่าภาพนี่นี่ไม่มันกิเลสว่าภาพนะไอ้ของเราตามภาพของมันแต่มันไม่ได้ดูนะเข้าใจเข้าใจ